See here, in previous session, we discussed about packages. So in the package, we define members like procedures, functions, etc. So these things very clearly we discussed in the previous session. Now in today's session, I want to talk about next chapter, exception handling. So as a developer, we must know this one. This is very, very important topic. You take any project that contains exception handling, definitely. Very important. We must know. So initially I start with types of errors. Okay, after that, what is exception? What is exception handling? How to handle the exception? What is exception? What is exception handling? How to handle the exception? This we discuss. There are two types of exceptions are there, like built-in exceptions and user-defined exceptions. So what are the built-in exceptions provided by the Oracle PL SQL? These things we discuss in today's session. Initially, I start with types of errors. After that, we discuss about what is exception handling, what is the purpose of it, how to handle it. Then we discuss about built-in exceptions. What are the built-in exceptions provided by PLSQL? We discuss. This is today's session. See here, types of errors. So how many types of errors are there? Mainly three types are there. Mainly three types are there. What are those three types? First one is compile time errors. Second one is runtime errors. And third one is logical errors. The names are giving the meanings here. The names are giving the meanings. Compile time error. These errors occur at compile time. When you compile the program, at that time some errors may occur. Those are called compile time errors. So when compile time error will occur due to syntax mistakes or semantic mistakes, due to syntax mistakes or semantic mistakes, compile time errors will occur. Understand? You already know in PLSQL program, every statement ends with semicolon. In PLSQL program, every statement ends with semicolon. Observe, there's a syntax. Every statement ends with semicolon. Semicolon means statement separator. To separate first statement and second statement, I'm writing semicolon. Just like in the English language, to separate the sentences, we are writing dot. Okay, just like in the English language, to separate the sentences, we are using dot, full stop. In the same way, in the programming languages, okay, in some languages, we are using semicolon. This is statement separate. There is a syntax we have to follow. If semicolon missed, that's syntax mistake. You already know if syntax. If else if syntax, you know, is the syntax. If condition, then else if condition, then else, end if. This is a syntax. You already know. Suppose this if end if missed here, syntax mistake. I forgot to write end if. Compiler checks it. Compiler gives error now. Missing end if. Missing end loop. All these are syntax mistakes. Missing end if. Missing end loop. Like this. Etc. Missing end loop. Loop must be ended with end loop. If I forgot to type end loop, error. Compile time error. Okay, here single quote is there. I forgot to write closing single quote. Syntax mistake. Here opening single quote is there means ending single quote must be there. Here opening single quote is there means ending single quote must be there. I forgot to write ending single quote. Syntax mistake. I forgot to write this closing parenthesis. Syntax mistake. All these are syntax mistakes only. Okay, missing semicolon. Okay, missing parenthesis. Opening parenthesis or closing parenthesis. Missing single quotes. Opening single quote or ending single quote, etc. So all these are syntax mistakes only. Semantic mistake means naming mistakes. Semantic mistakes means naming mistakes, sir. Observe now. For example, here I'm writing program. Actual table name is EMP. By mistake I typed EP. Naming mistake. Table name, wrong table name I'm giving. This is called semantic mistake. EP table is not existed. How it modifies? EP table is not existed in the database. How it modifies? Wrong table name, wrong column name. Suppose, okay, I'm giving wrong column name. Salary. Actually, column name is SAL. By mistake, I'm writing salary. Wrong column name. All these are syntax mistakes. So missing semicolon, missing end if, missing single quotes, brackets, wrong table name, wrong column name. So these are the syntax mistakes and semantic mistakes. Okay, these are not that much problematic. Compile time errors are not that much problematic because compiler checks them, compiler shows message, you can correct it. So these are not that much problematic. Compiler shows the message. What is the problem is there? Correct it. Compiler is checking these errors. So compiler is showing message. By seeing that message, we can correct it. But these runtime errors are very dangerous, sir. Okay, when runtime errors occur, these errors occur at runtime. At runtime, these errors occur. Why these errors occur? Many reasons are there. These errors occur at runtime due to several reasons. Many reasons are there. Some of them I am giving. For example, understand now? This is our select example, sir. Our select our experience example. Experience. Observe now. Let's select example. Let me run this. Let me log in first. I'm logging as C hash batch 2 PM initiating. Set page size 200, line size 200. Set server output on. Set verify off. Clear the screen. Observe now. See here. For example, this is a program, sir. What I'm doing is I'm removing this semicolon. Syntax mistake. File name is experience demo.sql. First, let me check is this program working or not. At the rate d:/ batch 2 PM / experience demo dot SQL. Okay. So as of now, program is perfect. This program is perfect. So it is working perfectly now. Observe 7369. This employees existed in the EMP table working. Is experience I'm getting. I'm getting employee number 7934 is experience I'm getting. Okay, 7698 experience I'm getting. But I'm giving employee number as 6752. There is no 6752 employee. No, record is not found. No. So when record is not found, runtime error occurs. So when record is not found in table, in which case, in case of retrieve, not others. In case of retrieve means select. In case of retrieval, when we retrieve the data, if record is not found, then runtime error occurs. Check here. There is no 6752 employee in the EMP table. Runtime error is occurring. Observe. At line number 8, no data found. In the line number 8, it is giving error. Error in the line number 8. So when this code is executing, so Oracle is searching for 6782 record that is not available in the EMP table. In the EMP table, Oracle is searching for 6782 record. Record is not available. When record is not found, runtime error occurs. If you want to check here. There is no 6752 employee. Observe. 6752. There is all employee numbers are started with 7 only. See? All employee numbers are started with 7 only. There is no 6752 employee. So if record is there, it displays. If record is not found, runtime error. Okay, 7369 employees there working. 1234 no employee error. This is runtime error. When code is executing at runtime in the 8th line, runtime error occurred. It is very, very dangerous. What's the problem here? What's the problem with runtime error? When runtime error occurs, in this line only, program execution will be stopped. This is called abnormal termination. This is the problem with runtime error. Our program will be terminated abnormally. Our program will be terminated abnormally. So this is the biggest problem. So I am giving employee number as 1234. 1234 record not found in the EMP table. In the 8th line, runtime error is occurring. If runtime error occurs, what happens? Program execution will be stopped in the 8th line only. Remaining code will not be executed. And transaction stopped in the middle here. In the TCL comments I told, transaction should not be stopped in the middle. A transaction stopped in middle here. So with this, we get inconsistent data in the database. Suppose in front of this, if I write any update command, any insert command, any delete command, and transaction failed, now in the database, one record I updated, one record I inserted, and I deleted one record, and transaction failed. Means here we are getting inconsistent data. Wrong data we are maintaining, sir. This is a problem. So that is why transaction should not be stopped in the middle. If transaction is successful, to save it, write commit. If transaction is unsuccessful, to cancel it, write rollback. But here transaction stopped in the middle here. That is a problem. Transaction should be ended with either commit or rollback. But it is terminated abnormally. So this is the biggest problem. Once again, I'm telling, listen, sir. When runtime error occurs during the program execution, when program is executing at runtime, during program execution at runtime, runtime errors occur. When runtime error occur, many reasons are there. One of the reasons is when we retrieve the data, if record is not found in table, runtime error occurs. So in this example, 1234 record not found. In the line number 8, runtime error is occurring. What's the problem with this runtime error? Program execution will be stopped in this 8th line only. This is called abnormal termination. Abnormal termination is the problem. With exception, with runtime error, what is the problem? Abnormal termination is the problem. Program stopped in the middle. Actually, program should be terminated with this end. Program should be terminated with end. This is normal termination. But here, program stopped in the 8th line only. Remaining code not executed. Abnormal termination. What is the problem with abnormal termination? In the database, we may get inconsistent data. I inserted some records. I updated, I deleted. Transaction failed here. So here I'm maintaining inconsistent data here. This is the problem. That is where runtime errors are very, very dangerous. A transaction should not be stopped in the middle. With runtime error, transaction will be stopped in the middle here. Every successful transaction ends with commit. Unsuccessful transaction ends with rollback. But here, due to the runtime error, program stopped in the middle. So with this, we get inconsistent data in the database. So this is biggest problem. Did you understand the problem, sir? Are you understanding? So that is why we must handle them. Some more reasons I'm telling. Suppose if we try to divide with 0, runtime error. Okay, something divided by 0 cannot be calculated by machine. Runtime error. Okay, so like this, many reasons are there. If I give wrong input, runtime error. Okay, if size is okay, if value is out of range, runtime error. Understand this point? Suppose it is asking employee number, sir. Suppose it is asking employee number. I am giving employee number as Raju. It is asking employee number. I am giving string, sir. Runtime error. Okay, see in the line number 6, runtime error is occurring. I am giving Raju here. Employee number Raju I am giving. Raju data cannot be stored in the number data type. In the number data type variable, this b underscore employee number is number type variable. It accepts numbers only. It does not accept strings. Error. V underscore employee number is number type. Number variable cannot accept strings. So runtime error. Okay. Suppose I am giving this employee number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See here, 8 digit employee number I am giving. But employee number declared as number of 4. V underscore employee number variable declared as number of 4. It cannot hold 8 digits value. I am giving 8 digit value. Number only. This is number only. But value out of range. Runtime error. See? So these are the different cases. Runtime error is occurring. Value error. So like this, many reasons are there. So when we retrieve the data, if record is not found in table, runtime error. If we divide with 0, runtime error. If you give wrong input, like this, runtime error. It is asking number. I'm entering string, wrong input. Value out of range. That can hold 4 digit value only. I'm giving 8 digit value. Cannot hold. So like this, different reasons are there for occurring runtime errors. So these are very, very dangerous. So with runtime error, the problem is abnormal termination. Problem is abnormal termination. So it leads to inconsistent data. With abnormal termination, what happens? It leads to inconsistent data in database. Database must be contain consistent data, valid data. Okay, so with this in the database, we get invalid data, inconsistent data. That is a problem. So that is why we must handle them. That is why we are learning exception handling. To handle the runtime errors, we use this concept. Exception means it is a biggest problem. Problem name is runtime error. Exception means runtime error. What is the problem here? Problem is abnormal termination. So with this, we may lose the data. We may get inconsistent data in the database. So that is why we must handle runtime errors. What is exception handling? The way of handling runtime errors. So it is a solution for the problem. It is solution for the problem. Exception. Exception is a problem. Exception means runtime error. Shortly read RTE. Shortly read RTE, sir. RTE means understand that runtime error. Exception means runtime error. So this exception handling. Exception is the biggest problem. For this problem, solution is exception handling. That's it. That is why we are learning this. Next, third one, logical errors. Okay, these are also not that much dangerous. So developer must develop correct logic for this. So developer has to develop correct logic. Take little bit care about logic. That's it. This is a solution for it. Logical errors not that much problematic. Take care about logic. Compile time errors not that much dangerous because compiler is checking them, showing message to us. But runtime errors are very dangerous. When user is running the application at that time, at runtime, in the user's environment, runtime errors occur. So this is biggest inconvenience to the user. If user is getting inconvenience, he will not use our app. That is why we must handle them. So how to handle? Use exception handling. Exception means what? Runtime error. Exception means runtime error. Shortly write RTE. So it is the biggest problem. Exception is the biggest problem. Okay. For this problem, what is the solution? Solution is exception handling. Exception handling. So it is a solution for the problem exception. So it is the solution. It is a solution for the problem runtime error or exception. How to handle them? This we need to learn. So it is a way of handling runtime errors. How to handle it? We have to follow this syntax. Tell me the syntax of anonymous block, sir. Declare begin end semicolon slash. Declare begin end semicolon slash. This we know. Nothing news there. Here we in the begin end we write executable statement. Here we declare the variables. Here declare the variables. Here write executable statements. This we know. Nothing news there here. But to define exception block, to handle runtime errors, define exception block here. How to define exception block? Exception when ready-made exception names will be there. Exception name. Then write handling code here. Write handling code here. Like this. Any number of when thens we can write here. Any number of when thens you can write. No limit is there. So remember this syntax. Follow it. So this is the way of handling runtime errors. So generally, in these executable statements, runtime errors occur, or sometimes here may runtime error may occur if you give wrong input in the declaration part itself. Okay, runtime error may occur. So if runtime error occurs in the declaration part or in the execution part, then immediately when runtime error occurs, then immediately execution jumps to exception block. It checks that corresponding exception block handled or not. If handled, the handling code will be executed. Otherwise, runtime error occurs. That's it. So to handle runtime errors, we are using this exception handling concept. How to handle the runtime errors? Define exception block. Define exception block. to handle runtime errors. Just like in Java, you are defining try catch blocks to handle runtime errors. In Java, you are writing try catch blocks. The code which may generate runtime error, that code we write in the try block. In the catch block, we write handling code. Okay, corresponding exception class name object. Okay, here we write handling code. In Java, you are handling like this. In Java, to handle runtime errors, we are using try catch blocks. But here, to handle runtime errors, we define exception block. Entire chapter revolves around this one point only, sir. Exception block. Entire exception handling chapter revolves around this point only, exception block. So using exception block, we define exception handling code. Using exception block, we handle runtime errors. That's it. Okay. So what are these logical errors? Let me tell. Logical errors are, for example, I'm writing withdraw program, sir. Withdraw logic is current balance equals to current balance equals to okay, current balance equals to current balance minus withdrawal amount. This is correct logic. Okay, suppose account balance is 80,000, sir. I am withdrawing 10,000. Account balance is 80,000. Okay, I'm withdrawing 10,000. Now bank has to update this value as 70,000. This is correct logic. 70,000. This is correct logic. This logic is correct. But suppose I'm writing plus, problem. Wrong logic. For withdraw, how can you add the money? Account balance is 80,000. Customer is withdrawing 10,000. And you are adding here. His balance should become 70,000. But you are adding. Wrong logic. So for this, what is the solution? Develop correct logic. Take care about logic. Just right. Balance minus amount. So take care about the logic. That is a solution for logical error. What is the solution for compile time error? Compiler checking them, showing message, correct them. But runtime errors, very dangerous. If runtime error occurs, abnormal termination. So that is why we must handle them. To handle runtime errors, define exception block. Just like in Java, we are defining try catch blocks. Here we are defining exception block. Just remember this, sir. Follow it. Entire exception handling chapter revolves around this point only. Are you getting some ideas, sir? See one example program to discuss it. Online students, are you following? Is it clear about types of errors? Please confirm. Is it clear about types of errors? Did you understand the problem with runtime error? See one example program. An exception handling. See one example on exception handling. Write a program to divide two numbers. You already know how to divide two numbers. This code you know. Tell me the code, sir. If you are unable to tell this program means our PL discussion is waste, sir. Tell me now. Anonymous block. How to define? Mm, mm, mm. Uh. X variable I'm declaring as number type. Okay, y variable I'm declaring as number type. These two numbers only I want to divide now. So read x value, read y value, calculate x by y, store in the z. Print z value. This is our requirement. Read x value, sir. How to read? Read y value. Calculate x by y, store in z. Print z value. Z, z equals to z. So like this we are writing. Okay. Now, understand now. See here. So this is the code for dividing two numbers. Nothing news there. You already know this code. But this is not perfect code. This is not perfect code. In this code, some problems are there. Exception demo1.sql. Exception demo1.sql. I'm saving this with the file name. Exception demo1.sql. Observe here. Compile and run this. At the rate. Z we didn't declare, right? Z we need to declare. Save it. Compile and run this now. At the rate. d:/batch 2pm/ exception demo. Exception demo dot SQL. Observe. Just exception demo 1, right? Exception demo 1 dot SQL. I'm giving x value as 50, y value 5, 50 by 5, 10 here. Working perfectly. Observe. Again, I'm running. X value 100, y value 2, 100 by 2, 50. So our code is working perfectly. But suppose I'm giving like this. First number 50, second number 0 I'm giving. Now something divided by 0, x value 50, y value 0. This cannot be calculated by Oracle now. So in the ninth line, runtime error occurs. Program execution will be stopped in the ninth line on. So this is abnormal termination problem. Abnormal termination. So maybe in front of this division, okay, some update code is there, delete code is there, insert code is there, and transaction stopped in the middle. Problem. We may lose some data, and we are getting inconsistent data in the database. So to solve this problem, we are using exception handling. Runtime error is occurring in the ninth line. Observe, sir. The ninth line, runtime error is occurring. Observe. Line number 9. I have to handle it now. So to handle it, what we have to do? Define exception block. Define exception block. Exception. How to handle it? When there are some ready-made exception names are there. To handle zero divide error, there is one exception name, 0_divide. When 0_divide, then dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. You cannot divide with 0. That's it. This is handling code. So with handling code, what we are doing? If you are trying to divide with 0 here, runtime error is occurring. When runtime error is occurring, immediately execution will be jumped to the exception block. 0 divide handled or not, it is checking. Yes, handled. This handling code will be executed. So abnormal termination, I converted to normal termination. So with exception handling, we convert abnormal termination to normal termination. So with this exception handling, okay, so using it, we convert abnormal termination to normal termination. So this is solution for the problem runtime error. That's it. So this is about exception handling. See here. Now I'm trying to divide with 0. Runtime error is occurring. Once again I'm running observe. X value I'm giving as 4, y value 2, 4 by 2. 2. Again I'm running x value 4, y value 0. Runtime error. So we must handle it. So to handle it, to handle runtime error, which block we are defining, sir? Exception block. How to handle? When 0 divide, then handling code, dbms underscore, output dot, put underscore line. Okay. So you cannot divide with 0. Problem solved or not test here? Understand? Suppose, assume in front of this statement, I updated some data, I inserted some data, I deleted some data, and here I am dividing with 0. Runtime error is occurring. If this exception block is not there in the database, we are getting inconsistent data here. But because of this exception handling code, now when runtime error is occurring, when we try to divide with 0, runtime error is occurring, implicitly Oracle raises 0 divide exception. So when 0 divide exception is raised, when runtime error occurs, immediately execution will be jumped to exception block. 0 divide handled or not, it is checking. Yes, handled. You cannot divide with 0. To get consistent data in the database here, in the exception handling, to handle this, to cancel the transaction, right? Roll back. Due to some problem only, transaction stopped in the middle. I'm canceling that action. So this deletion action cancelled, insert action cancelled, update action cancelled. So in the database, I'm getting consistent data. Finally, display messages, transaction failed to the user. The user understands that due to some reason, transaction failed. So because of transaction failed, we are rollbacking it. That's it, sir. So this is the way of handling runtime errors. It's like in Java, entire exception handling chapter revolves around try catch blocks. Here, entire exception handling chapter revolves around exception block. And now also it is not perfect program. In this, some more problems may be there. Now, once again, I'm running, observe here. See, at the rate path. See here, x value 50, y value 10, 50 by 10, 5, working perfectly. Second time I'm running, x value 50, y value 0, x value 50, y value 0. Runtime error is occurring. Handled with message. What is happening here? Understand now? Suppose I am giving x value 50, y value 10. Here it is calculating 50 by 10. 5. Z value 5. So it prints Z equals to 5. Okay. Program terminated. This is normal termination only. Okay. Suppose I'm giving x value as 50, y value 0 I'm giving. So 50 by 0 cannot be calculated by Oracle. Now runtime error is occurring. Implicitly Oracle is rising. 0 divide exception. So when exception is raised, Immediately execution will be jumped to exception block. Zero divide handled or not, it is checking. Yes, handled. So it is printing. You cannot divide with zero. Observe, sir. Abnormal termination converted to normal termination. Observe. By displaying this user understandable message. So like this in many places we see such kind of handling runtime errors. That's it. Is it clear up to here? Online students, I hope you are following. Now also, it is not perfect program. Some more problems are also there. Let me run one more time. See here, it is asking X value. I am giving X value Raju. Wrong input, sir. Runtime error is occurring. In which line? Line number 6. X value, I am giving as Raju. X number type variable, sir. Number variable, how it can hold string? So the 6th line, runtime error is occurring. Value error. Value error. The 6th line, runtime error is occurring. Wrong input we are giving, value error. And value out of range. Then also same error we get. Observe. Value out of range. Okay. Here X declared as number of 4. How it can hold 6-digit value? Sufficient memory is not there. How it can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of range? The 6th line runtime error is occurring. Value error. Same error. For wrong input, same value error. For value out of range, same value error. But message is different here. Message is different. Here some character to number conversion error, like this something it is giving. Okay, here number precision too large, it is like this. Message little bit different. But both are value errors only. So to handle this value error, we have to define exception block. Once again, I'm telling sir, X value I'm giving as Raju. Runtime error. Okay, R X value I'm giving as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Runtime error. Because X declared as number of 4 here. X can hold values between -4 nines to +4 nines only. This value is out of range here. So I want to handle them. So to handle them, define exception block. How to handle when value error. When value error, then dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay, wrong input or value out of range. Wrong input, maybe wrong input or value out of range. Value out of range. This message will display. That's it. Save it. Save this code now. One more time I'm compiling and running. Observe. See, sir, different possibilities I'm telling. Observe. First time I'm running. X value 50, Y value 5, Z value 10. Working. Second time I'm running. X value 50, Y value 0. Something divided by 0 cannot be calculated by. Something divided by 0 cannot be calculated by. Oracle runtime error is occurring. Handled with message. You cannot divide with 0. Again I am running. I am giving X value as Raju. String cannot be stored in the number variable. Runtime error. Handled with message. Observe. Again I am running. I am giving X value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Value out of range. Runtime error. Handle with message. Observe. So to handle wrong inputs or values out of range, we use value error. To handle zero divide error, we use zero divide. What is happening here? Understand? I am giving x value as Raju. X cannot hold this value. So in the sixth line, runtime error is occurring. Oracle is rising. Value error here. Value error raised. So when runtime error is occurring, immediately it searches for exception block. Yes, exception block is there. Is zero divide handled or not? It's checking. Sorry. Is it value error or not? It's checking. No. Is it value error or not? It's checking. Yes. So we get output as wrong input or value out of range. That's it. So abnormal termination, we converted to normal termination by displaying user understandable messages. This is exception handling concept. You take any number of examples, same story will be there. Okay. Is it clear up to here? So, okay, user may give denominator as 0, we expected, and we handled it. User may give wrong input like this. Okay, user may give value out of range like this, or user may give wrong input like this. We expected it and we handled it. Value error. But some errors we may not expect. Those who stop application in the middle. So to handle any runtime error, there is one exception name is there. Others. Others can handle any exception. So like this we write, sir. DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Some runtime error occurred or something went wrong. Okay, in the web applications, in many places, you see such kind of messages, something went wrong when you are doing transactions. So this message we get in some apps, means some runtime error occurred there. Something went wrong. Try again after some time. Like this, we see messages in many apps. So some runtime error occurred there. They handle with this message. That's it. Zero divide can handle only zero divide exception. If we try to divide with zero, zero divide occurs. So using zero divide name, we are handling it. If we give wrong input or value out of range, that is handled by value error. These we expected, we are handling them. Some errors we may not expect. To handle unexpected errors, we are using the name others. That's it. So this is about first program on exception handling. In Java, you are writing this kind of code only like this. Observe here. In Java, you write like this. Same code. In Java, we write like this. Same code. In Java, we write like this. Observe. Oh. In Java, we are writing. For most of you are from Java background. That is why I'm comparing, sir. Otherwise, no need to explain like this. Okay, x equals to s dot next int. S is the scanner class object. Scanner s equals to new scanner system dot in. Like that, you create scanner class object. I'm reading x value. I'm reading y value. Okay, I'm calculating x by y, storing in z. So this code may generate runtime errors. So this code I'm writing in the system.out.println z. Z value we are printing here. Result we are printing. So this code may generate runtime errors. So the code which may generate runtime error, that code we write in the try block. In the catch block, we need to handle it. Suppose user is giving this denominator as 0. Implicitly, Java throws arithmetic exception. Implicitly, Java throws arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception will be raised here. Throw arithmetic exception. Like this. Okay, arithmetic exception will be raised. I want to handle it now. Implicitly, it is raising arithmetic exception. I want to handle it. So to handle arithmetic exception, we are writing a. Okay, you cannot divide with 0. Right? That handling code. Arithmetic exception can handle only 0 divided errors. It cannot handle wrong inputs. For example, I'm giving x value as Raju. X value I'm giving as Raju. Wrong input. Integer variable cannot hold a Raju string. So this cannot be handled by arithmetic exception. To handle that, I'm defining another catch block. Input mismatch exception. Input mismatch exception. Okay, above you have to write import java.util like that. So wrong input. Wrong input. Handling code. These errors we expected. We are handling them. So just like Java is providing arithmetic exception, here it is providing 0. Just like Java is providing input mismatch exception, here it is providing value error. Just like Java is providing exception class, here it is providing others. Exception class can handle any exception. In the last we write like this, catch exception. This exception class can handle any exception. Something went wrong. And this exception block, this catch with the exception, we must write in the end only. Otherwise, defining this code is waste here. In the same way, here others, we must write in the end only. If you write others in the beginning, defining this code is waste. Because others can handle any exception. So that is why we must write this others in the end only. Just like in Java, catch block with exception class, we must write in the end. Here others, we must write in the end. So with this, you should get clarity on this program. Is it clear up to here? Online students, please confirm. అర్థమైందమ్మా మీకు అర్థమైందా online students please confirm, is it clear about this program? Is it clear about exception handling, how to handle? Did you get some idea? Okay, now see here, this is general code. This is general code, sir. But our PLSQL developed for database programming. This is general programming. PLSQL developed for general programming. PLSQL developed for database programming. This dividing two numbers, adding two numbers, finding factorial, finding square root. This is general programming. But PLSQL not developed for general programming. PLSQL developed for database programming. With this PLSQL program, we have to communicate with table data. Okay. Now, see some database related examples. Before that, let me tell this point. Types of exceptions. How many types of exceptions are there? Two types. What are those two types? First one is built-in exception. First one is built-in exception. And second one is user-defined exception. First one is built-in exception. Second one is user-defined exception. These are the two types of exceptions. Now you tell me, sir, in this example, zero divide, is it built-in exception or user-defined? Zero divide, value error, are they built-in or user-defined? Built-in. We didn't define those names. We are not defining any, we are not declaring any zero divide name. Observe here. I'm not declaring any zero divide name, value error name. I'm not declaring anything. I'm not declaring any exception name. There is no zero divide. There is no value error. These are built in. Oracle software developers defined these exceptions. So that is why I'm calling them as built in. Okay. So Oracle software developers. So Oracle product developed by some developers. So those Oracle software developers developed some exceptions. These are called built-in exceptions. These are called built-in. These are called built-in exceptions. What are the examples of built-in exceptions? You already know. First one, zero divide. When zero divide occurs, when we try to divide with zero. So when we try to divide with zero, zero divide exception will be raised. When value error occurs, when we give wrong input or value is out of range, okay, when we try to divide with zero, zero divide exception will be raised. If we give wrong input or value out of range, value error will be raised. Apart from these two, some more built-in exceptions are there. What are those? No data found, too many rows, dupe val on index, dupe val on index. Like this, not only this, I'm giving 5 list here. Not only this, many built-in exceptions are there. Like cursor already open, invalid cursor, invalid number, login denied, like this. Many built-in exceptions are there. At least we should know these things. So among these two already know. Just now we discussed it. If we divide with zero, zero divide. If we give wrong input or value out of range, value error. Next, we need to discuss about these three now. When no data found will be raised. Understand? When we retrieve data from table, retrieve means select. If record is not found, then no data found exception will be raised. I already showed it. See here, that experience program is there. Experience program I'm opening, observe. Okay, do you know this code or not? Experience code. I'm saving this. Experience program I'm running. At the rate d:// batch 2 p.m. / experience demo Dot SQL. Observe, it is asking employee number. I'm giving employee number as 7369. Working. I'm giving employee number 1234. Oracle is searching for 1234 record in the EMP table. Oracle is searching for 1234 record in the EMP table here. Understand this? So I am giving employee number as 1234. Oracle is searching for 1234 employee record in the EMP table. Record is not found now. If record is not found, how it can copy? Impossible. There is no 1234 record in the EMP table. How it selects hide rate, how it copies? Impossible. So that is why runtime error occurs in the 8th line. See, the 8th line runtime error is occurring. No data found. I want to handle it. To handle runtime errors, which block we have to define? Which block we have to define? How to handle them? When? What is the exception name? No data found. Then write handling code. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line invalid employee number. Invalid employee number. Or no employee existed with this employee number. Save it. Compile and run this now. Observe at the rate path. See here, employee number 7369 working. Employee number 1234, employee not existed. Runtime error is occurring. Handle with message. Observe invalid employee. Previously it was giving error. Now I handled it. Observe. Okay. Suppose I am giving 7934 working. Suppose I am giving 4567, no employee. Invalid employee. Okay. What is happening here? Understand? I am giving employee number as 1234. Oracle is searching for 1234 record in the EMP table. Record not found. So implicitly, Oracle is raising no data found exception. So when exception is raised, immediately execution will be jumped to exception block. No data found, handle or not, it's checking. Yes, handle. Prints invalid employee number. Abnormal termination converted to normal termination by displaying that message. So like this, we can handle runtime errors. So when we retrieve the data, if record is not found in table, no data found exception will be raised. Okay, is it clear about no data found? Next one is what's that? Too many rows. So when select query selects many rows, then too many rows exception will be raised. When select query selects many rows, then too many rows exception will be raised. Suppose my requirement is like this. Example on too many rows. Example on too many rows. Understand this point now? So I want to get specific department employee records. Or I want to get particular job title employee records. Enter value for job. If I give manager here, our program should display manager's records. If I give job value as clerk, our program should display clerk's records. This is my requirement. So if user is giving job value as manager, our program should display manager's records. Three managers are there. Three managers records I want to get here. Second time I'm running. If I give job value as clerk, our program should display clerk's records. Maybe 4 clerks are there. Maybe. I'm not sure about it. No. So 3 rows, 4 rows means multiple rows. To hold multiple rows, cursor is required. If I don't use cursor, I get too many rows exception. Understand this now? Now, first read job value. First read job value. So question is display employee records. Understand the question first. Display the employee records. Okay, based on job. So on output screen, I want to print like this. Enter value for job. So we're reading job value here. If I get job value as president in our EMP table, there is only one president. It works perfectly. There is only one president, king. It works perfectly for one job title. But enter value for job. Suppose I'm getting job value as manager. Runtime error occurs. Runtime error occurs. Why? Understand this point now. I'm writing like this. Select what I'm selecting job. Copy into v underscore job from EMP where job equals to where so I'm sorry. We want to get employees records, right? Select star into R from EMP where job equals to v underscore job. Understand now? Suppose I'm getting president, sir. President. V underscore job value president. How many presidents are there? One. One row selected. One row copies into R. Prints. Works perfectly. For president, it works perfectly because one president is there. But if I give manager here, job value I'm giving as manager. 3 managers are there. Means 3 rows selected. 3 rows cannot be stored in the row type variable. Row type variable can hold only one row. How it can hold 3 rows, sir? Runtime error occurs. To handle it, we use too many rows. If select query selects many rows, runtime error occurs. Are you understanding? Once again, I'm telling this. I want to display the data based on job. If I give job value president, it has to display president record. If I give job value manager, I want to get manager's records. I want to get manager's records here. Manager's records I want to get. But if I write like this, for president it works perfectly. If I give job value as president, how many presidents are there? One president. So one row selected. One row can be stored in R. So it works perfectly. But I'm giving job value as manager here. How many managers are there? 3 managers. So 3 rows selected. 3 rows cannot be stored in R. R can hold only one row. How it can hold 3 rows? So runtime error occurs. To handle it, we use too many rows. If select query selects many rows, too many rows exception will be raised. Actually, we have to do this program using cursor. To hold multiple rows, cursor is required. Many managers, many clerks. I have to do this program with cursor. If I don't use cursor, I get too many rows exception. So actually, we have to do this program using cursor. If I don't use cursor, too many rows exception will be raised. You tell me the code now. Anonymous block. How to define, sir? Uh, 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 uh. To hold job value, declare one variable. To hold this job value, to hold job value, declare one variable. Which data type? Read job value. Read job value. Can we read like this? Yes. Read job value. The given job values, records I want to hold. Actually, we have to do this program using cursor. We have to do this program using cursor just to demonstrate too many rows. I'm developing like this. So to hold employee record, I'm doing R EMP percentage row type. Retrieve the record now. Select star into R from EMP where job equals to V underscore job. To print employee record, DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. To print employee name, write R dot ename. To print employee salary, R dot salary. Like this way. Observe now. Understand? I'm running this program, sir. Suppose I'm giving this job value as president. I'm giving job value as president. Okay. So how many presidents are there? One. One row selected. Can R hold one row? Yes. Works perfect. To get clarity on it, job value also I'm printing. See it. Observe that code only I'm copying here. Observe now. It is asking enter value for job. I'm giving job value as president. How many presidents are in our EMP table? One. Working. One president. Again I'm running. Job value it is asking. I'm giving manager. Runtime error is occur. How many managers are there? Three. Three rows cannot be stored in 1 hour. B underscore job value I'm giving as manager. How many managers are there? Three. Three rows cannot be stored in R. In fifth line, runtime error is occurring. In fifth line, runtime error is occurring. Exact fetch returned more than requested number of rows. This is the style for one row. This is not style for multiple rows. For multiple rows, we use cursors or collections. But this style is for single row. But this style is selecting multiple rows. So too many rows exception will be raised. I want to handle this one. So to handle this, define exception block. What we had right here? When too many rows, then dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay. Many employees existed with this job title. Many employees selected here. Many rows are there with this job. Unable to display like this. Any user understandable message. Okay. I'm copying this code at SQL command prompt. See it. I'm giving job value as president. President. Working perfectly. Again, I'm running job value. I'm giving as manager. Runtime error is occurring. Handle with message. Many rows are there. Unable to display. Clerk. Many rows are there. Unable to display. Like this. If single job is there, working. If multiple jobs are there, error. Actually, we have to do this program using cursor. It's when too many rows useful to understand that. I explain like this. And Next. So when select query selects many rows, too many rows exception will be raised. 4 exceptions we know clearly. If we try to divide with 0, 0 divide exception will be raised. If we give wrong input or value out of range, value error will be raised. If record is not found in table, no data found. If select query selects many rows, too many rows. Is it clear about too many rows? Last one. Last one is what, sir? What is primary key? Good. Primary key means does not accept duplicates. Suppose here T1 table, the T1 table, F1 column, I'm setting as primary key. T1 is the table. In T1 table, F1 is the column. This F1 column, I'm setting as primary key here. I'm setting F1 column as primary key. In primary key column, I'm inserting duplicate value. Runtime error occurs. If any constraint is violated, runtime error occurs. Check constraint violation, foreign key violation, primary key violation, unique violation. For any for any constraint violation, runtime error occurs. You already know about constraints in SQL very clearly we learned like primary key, not null, unique, etc. If any constraint is violated, that may be check or foreign key or primary key, runtime error occurs. How to handle this? I'm explaining. If we try to insert duplicate value in primary key, dup val on index will be raised. So I want to handle this now. If we try to insert duplicate value in primary key, then dup val index exception will be raised. I want to handle it now. How to handle you already know. If an exception block when dup val on and then a primary key does not accept duplicates. Handling good. To demonstrate it, see one example on dup val on index. See here. Suppose let me create one table like this. EMP. Okay, EMP 66 table name. Employee ID. Ename. Set employee ID as primary key. Set constraint name as C66. C66 is constraint name. Primary key is constraint type. Create this table now. Table is not ready. Let me create this table first. Create table EMP 66. Employee ID number of 4. Constraint name, constraint type. I'm following syntax only. You already know this one, nothing news there. Employee name, varchar 2 after. Bracket close, semicolon. So table created here. Observe. Data type number typing mistake is there. Copy this. See here. Table created. Now my requirement is write a program to insert record into this table. Write a program to insert record into this table, EMP66 table. Program to insert record into EMP66, right? Like this, declare, begin, end, semicolon, slash. Write insert command to insert the record. EMP66. Values. Read employee ID. Read employee name. Save it. Display message. Record inserted. That's it. This is the code. Observe now. I'm writing this one. I'm running this one. Observe. See here. Oh, single quote missing, right? Syntax mistake. Syntax mistake means compile time error occurred. I'm correcting this one. Okay. Okay. I'm copying this code. At SQL command prompt. Observe here. Here EMP66 in this employee ID primary key. Employee ID primary key, sir. Here employee ID we are setting as primary key. So primary key does not accept duplicates. Suppose I'm giving 1001A accepted. Record inserted. Again I am giving 1001. Primary key does not accept duplicates. Runtime error is occurring. Unique constraint violated C66. Problem. Abnormal termination problem. In line number 2. Runtime error is occurring. In line number 2. Runtime error is occurring. Already 1001 record is there. Unable to insert 1001. Primary key rule violated here. I have to handle this. To handle this, what we have tried, sir? Exception block. How to define exception block? When? Duple index. Then. Okay. DBMS underscore. Output dot. Put underscore line. Employee ID. Already assigned to another employee. Employee ID must be unique. Or this employee ID already assigned. Okay. Employee existed. Another employee. Another employee existed with this employee number. Observe here. See, I'm running this program. Employee ID 5001 I am giving. Name ABCD I am giving. Accepted. Record inserted. Second time I am running. Again I am giving 5001. Name I am giving as XYZ. So employee ID primary key here. Already 5001 inserted. Again you are trying to insert 5001. Runtime error occurs. Already 5001 inserted. We are inserting duplicate value in primary key. When we try to insert duplicate value in primary key, runtime error occurs. That is handled with this message. Another employee existed with this employee. So with this user understand this employee number already assigned. Again he runs. He gives correct input. Record inserted. Problem solved with message. So finally the conclusion is with runtime error, abnormal termination occur. With this exception handling concept, for exception handling, we define exception block. So with this exception block, we are handling runtime errors here. So it is converting abnormal termination to normal termination. Runtime errors are very dangerous. So with that, we may lose the data, we may get inconsistent data. So that is why we must handle them. To handle runtime errors, define exception. What is happening here? Already 5001 record already there. Again, I am trying to insert 5001 record here. Runtime error is occurring. Internally, Oracle is raising do PL index. So when runtime error occurs, execution will be jumped to exception block. Do PL index handled or not? It's checking. Yes, handled. This code will be executed. So like this, it works. When I ask the questions, give the response here. You tell me, sir, what is exception? What is exception, sir? Exception means runtime error. It is the biggest problem. For this problem, what is the solution? It is a solution for the problem, runtime error. How to handle runtime error? Define exception block. How many types of exceptions are there? What are those? Built-in exception, user-defined exception. Built-in exception means these exceptions are already defined by Oracle software developers. When zero divide occurs, sir, when we divide with zero. When value error occurs, if we give wrong input or value out of it. When no data found occurs, when we are retrieving from table, if record is not found. When too many rows occurs, if select query selects many rows. When do pattern index occurs, in primary key column, if we insert duplicate value, then do pattern index will be raised. So built-in exceptions topic is over. Next, what we need to discuss is a different. So because of time is over, I'm stopping the session here. In next session, we continue our session with user defined exception. So tomorrow we discuss about how to define our own exceptions, user defined exceptions. What is this rise keyword? What is this rise application error? Okay, and what is pragma exception in it? What is this pragma exception in it? These things I cover in the next session. And tomorrow, definitely, I finish this exception handling topic. Okay, after that, we need to discuss about triggers. Triggers. Day after tomorrow, we discuss about triggers. Okay, in this week, I finish PL SQL, sir. In next week, I finish your course. Okay, thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Online students, if you have any doubts, type in the chat box. Otherwise, you can leave the session. Session is over. Okay, lunch के लिए battery regular charging ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ battery ಇರ್ತಾರೆ Okay, thanks to all. I'm leaving the session. See you tomorrow.